Hi there, my name is Jessica and I'm a licensed mental health counselor. Let's jump right in, shall we? Today's topic is a tough one and weighs heavily on my heart. It's the 5 stages of grief and loss. Everyone grieves differently. There's not a correct way. If you are actively grieving, I am truly sorry for your loss and hope that you find yourself surrounded by love and support. I encourage you to reach out to a counselor or a support group, as this time may be overwhelming, confusing, and difficult to navigate alone. There's a world of difference between intellectually examining the stages and personally experiencing them. There are many things we can grieve, but for the focus of this video, we will be talking about the death of a loved one. I want to add a side note that this has been an especially hard season for many families due to COVID. We've lost some incredible individuals. I got the honor of walking alongside many families going through the grieving process. And I think this video should be dedicated to their strength, compassion, and unyielding resilience. Helen Keller once said, "What we once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose. For all that we have loved deeply becomes part of us." For the sake of this video, I will list the stages of grief in a linear fashion. First, there is denial, then anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. You probably won't experience them in order. In fact, you may feel each one depending on the minute. Grieving can feel overwhelming and confusing because your heart is breaking and death leaves us feeling helpless. During the denial phase, you're often in shock. It's our body's way of protecting us from so much emotional pain. If we acknowledge that it happened or is happening, then we have to acknowledge the feelings that inevitably follow. Anger is also a protective mechanism. Anger hides pain, hurt, sadness, and helplessness. Anger is oftentimes easier to express and tap into. You might be mad at God if you believe in Him. You might be mad at yourself, thinking you could have done more. You might be mad that they're gone. You might even be mad at them. These are common reactions. Try not to judge yourself too harshly. You're grieving. I feel like that is an insignificant word, grief, to describe your heart being torn in two. You might think that's an over-exaggeration, but not from what I've seen and experienced. It's the exact physical representation of grief. The next stage is bargaining. This is where you might plead with God or the universe or even doctors to give your loved one more time. You might feel desperate or drained. Maybe you just give anything for one more day. Then the depression sets in. This is a hard realization that there really might not be anything you can do. Death is a part of life and something we can't control and even negotiate our way out of. In this stage, you'll feel lonely and isolated. You might find yourself crying and experience more sadness during this stage. This was the sadness that denial, anger, and bargaining was trying to deny. The final stage is acceptance. I truly don't believe that you will ever fully recover from the death of a loved one because you will always carry them with you. You will always miss them because that is the cost of love. But in time, you will build a life around your grief and you will experience it differently. Strive to live a life that would honor your loved one. As much love as you shared between you, give that to yourself and the world. Honor them with who you become and how you love, and honor the memories of them that they gifted you. A final note, just be kind. You never know what someone is going through. Grieving is one of the hardest things in the world, and sometimes kindness can be a light in that darkness.